Again, welcome everybody to today's webinar, how to make your shipping operations more environmentally friendly. Again, my name is Phil Andrianos. I'm the Director of Marketing here at Cybra. Today, I'd like to introduce our presenters. Like I said, today we have Chuck Roscoe, VP of Operations, and Ken Hunter, our Senior Tech Support Superstar. And before I pass it over to them, I'd like to just quickly go over today's agenda. We're going to start out by just going over why green shipping is beneficial to shippers and distributors. Then I'll pass it over to Chuck. He's going to share some ways you can reduce consumable usage along with showing a few eco-friendly printing strategies. Then we'll pass it over to Ken, and he's going to show some live examples on MarkMagic how to execute some of these green initiatives. And then if we have some time, we'll do a little Q&A. So sound good?
Yeah, sounds good. I was going to interrupt just for a second, Phil. So the strategies are really cool. What Phil's going to talk about. I found some interesting things that I didn't know about out there in the market. We're actually going to share two videos, which you don't normally do, but and it's two specialized types of printers that are really useful in helping you minimize waste and stuff like that. So that's an interesting spin we're going to put on this webinar that we normally don't do. So Phil will take care of that. So they're about 2 minutes each. And then, again, please ask questions. So we love getting your feedback and comments and questions. We'll get to those at the end. So yeah, let's go to it, Phil.
Excellent. All right, so we'll start with the why. Why go green? So I've broken it down into three main reasons. The first one, sustainable packaging demand is on the rise. Consumers, kind of drive the market in this way. As you can see there, 73% of consumers are more likely to buy a product packaged sustainably, and they're even willing to pay a premium for it. So along with that, I'm just going to throw out this little slide. I'm going to throw you a ton of stats at you, so bear with me. Sustainable packaging, the industry right now, it's a $225 billion market. It's expected to grow in 5 years. 25% of all global packaging will be reusable, sustainable, recyclable, and biodegradable. So like I said, customers are looking for it. And you know who else are? Retailers, not just consumers focused on sustainable packaging. In the last 10 years, Amazon has cut out 244,000 tons of packaging from their supply chain. So if you are partnered with Amazon, which I'm sure many of you are, their initiatives and their their programs are definitely, you need to keep your ears to the ground and your eyes on what they're doing. So the second point, green shipping saves you money and can improve efficiency. So Amazon rolled out a little program. It's called the Frustration-Free Packaging Vendor Incentive Program in 2019. So this program is meant to encourage vendors to package goods sustainably with less waste and to make their packages easier to ship. So that means basically if you're shipping something small, if you put it in something big, you're not like within the program's rules. So just as, not to scare you guys, but sellers who don't meet the standards are fined $1.99 per order. So that's a big dig into your profits that you can easily avoid if you can deploy the right green shipping initiatives. And just a couple other quick anecdotes. Green shipping, it can also save you money. So as a quick example, Creston Electronics, they're an office equipment manufacturer based out of New Jersey. In 2018, they switched from corrugated cardboard to more flexible recyclable plastic that they can, they put in their products, into their packages. That way, they reduced their transportation spend by 20%. So how did they do that? The packages, they made it a lot easier to put it into their transports. So they were just able to pack more stuff basically into their trucks and into their shipments. So in another real quick example, we're going to show you a really cool little tool called the Auto Bagger. And the Auto Bagger is basically, it allows you to do two things: print your shipping labels directly onto your bags, or your shipping bags that is, and then also it makes them airtight. So what this basically does is, just as a quick anecdote, you could go from packaging items, two items per minute to 12. So big time efficiency. And one more quick thing, because we're very green here at Cybra. We love the environment. So there's the last one. I said that there's three main points here. The third one, packaging waste is obviously bad for the environment. So like I showed you here, 14 million tons of packaging was made in the United States in 2017, and over 70% ends up in a landfill. So just enormous waste. In 2021, it is estimated that 1 billion trees are going to be consumed just for packaging alone. And just in case you're wondering, you know, I think a lot of people, you know, you ship with cardboard, and you're probably saying to yourself, well, cardboard's recyclable. It should be pretty good, right? Well, only 50% of corrugated cardboard is actually recyclable. So if you're thinking about, you know, why go green, why, you know, if you think that you're already kind of there, you might have to think again and, you know, kind of reinvestigate, you know, how you're doing things and new ways that you can go green. So now that we have the why, Chuck, show us the how shippers can go green.
Yeah, so of course, we're going to focus on Cybra's main software package. Well, one of the main ones. The other one is Edgefinity. But we're going to talk about MarkMagic and how you can use MarkMagic to create less output and create all kinds of efficiencies and all that good stuff. And I'll just say at a high level, we're going to throw a lot of different things at you, like different ways that you can combine formats and use less paper and stuff like that, and the ways that MarkMagic can handle all that. You don't have to understand all of it all at once. I mean, if you got any questions afterwards, I mean, by all means, please contact us, you know, the sales or our support center, and we will get into specifically what would be great for you guys. So one way is the combining of formats. So here we have 3 different formats on the left. They could be MarkMagic formats. Frankly, they could be in another product, but we make this easy as far as combining them into one larger format. And this is something that Ken's going to show you if you want to just click there, Phil, how they go into one form, and we use Form Weaver for that. But you know, the savings here is, you know, instead of producing these 3 different labels, the customs piece and the packing list down at the bottom, you can use all that on one piece of paper. So that's a kind of a common theme throughout today's presentation, like how you combine things and produce and have less waste. So let's move on to the next slide. And this, I have a couple kind of FYI slides for folks because not everybody knows. So this one here is talking about MarkMagic or Cybra supplies templates for all these different retailers. We have a template library. These are free. So you may be looking at some of the things we're showing you today. It's like, wow, that's all great, Chuck. I mean, but I don't have the time or the resources to create this fancy, you know, United States Post Office form. You know, who's going to help us? Hey, Cybra will. Cybra probably already has it done. We'll give it to you for free. So keep that in mind. Our library is we're adding to it all the time. There's just a few that are on there. And you'll see the other common theme is like a lot of times it's an invoice and also a packing slip that you'll get on the form, along with like a shipping label. And if you're like me, you get a lot of things from Amazon. And by the way, Phil, I got like a coin battery the other day in like a shoebox. So I think they had to pay the $1.99.
There you go. Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah. But you'll notice sometimes when you get things from Amazon or from other retailers, you open up your package. It could be a shirt you bought online or anything, and you'll see inside the packing list, and you'll notice like the bottom section is like missing a 4x6 inch area. And that's where they peeled off the label and they stuck it on the box. I mean, if you're a label forms geek like me, you're really into this, and I check all this stuff out. So it's very common to buy these types of forms where you know, maybe instead of using that Zebra or that Datamax thermal printer to produce your labels and your packing slips on a laser printer, you can produce the packing slip and the label itself all on a laser printer, and you just buy, you know, special 8.5 by 11 or 8.5 by 14 forms that have, you know, the bottom section or some section of it is that sticky label. So those are all available out there. And again, we'll help you create your forms for you for free. No big deal. So let's move on to the next one. Another little bit of an FYI slide. MarkMagic, you know, produces all these types of output with the lasers, laser printers, and the forms and the labels and all that good stuff. Our design interface is JMagic, which I always think everybody knows. Like, oh, this is the interface to design things. And I'm proven wrong almost every week. I talk to an account, like, oh, I didn't know there was JMagic. It's been around for about 15, 20 years now. So even this little video here is showing one of the ways you could design one of these more complex forms where it's just everything's together. So you have your packing slip, all that stuff on the top, and then you have a shipping label down at the bottom, and you can have it look however you want, drag things around and all that good stuff. So when I keep telling you, hey, Cyber will make these things for you, it's no big deal for us to make. It's because it really isn't. And look how easy it is. So, but that tool is available. JMagic is free with your development license. You can put on as many systems as you like. So what do we got next? Combining of documents. So another piece of MarkMagic, and this is relatively new, is you can have a MarkMagic format like shown here on the right. And perhaps you're getting a shipping label or some other document as an Adobe PDF from a totally different system, maybe from the internet or some other software you have, and you want to combine them together, right? Because you don't want to waste all this. You don't want to, here's 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper and you got all this white space. I'd rather just put the label on there or have that print on there. So MarkMagic can actually take, it's part of the product where we can take part of an Adobe PDF form and actually put that as a graphic, a variable image on the MarkMagic form. So, and there's no programming or anything like that involved. And it can be done in batch, it can be done interactive and programmatically and all that good stuff. So that's another way, another tool for you to combine things. Where, and in this case, it's two totally different services being used. So, what else?
Awesome.
Oh, we may have a video coming up. So this is the auto bagger that Phil was talking about. I think we're gonna, and so this little video here just shows us here in the office using it. I think we're gonna go to YouTube and we'll all listen to, it's about a 2-minute video explaining how it all works. And then we'll get right back to you, okay?
Alrighty, here we go, play.
Let that. Awesome. So there's something that, again, we have noticed a number of accounts aren't available, like or do not know that this type of equipment is available to them. So look, you're saving a fair amount on the labeling in these situations where you don't have to produce the thermal label and stick it on the bags all that time, and you're just speeding up your process. So, and obviously MarkMagic, self-serving as this is, supports the auto bag printer, and we've got a number of accounts using them. So it's a really cool tool to expedite some of those shipments, especially these onesie twosies type things. So the next slide talks about duplex printing, and in this one, as Phil mentioned earlier, like some accounts are going green and they're saving all this money. This is a very specialized printer from Sato, so it's actually a thermal printer that prints on the front and the back of the label. And we'll show you a video in just a second, like how all that works. But I will mention that Cyber, we just finished a project with, I think, the #1 like office supply company. I don't know if I could say their name or not, so I won't, where we helped them convert. They were using MarkMagic with about 80 different zebra labels that they've designed over the years. And we just quickly converted them over to the Arsado print driver within MarkMagic using JMagic and all that. And they've estimated they're going to save about $3 million per year just on label supplies by using this technology. So here, let's take a listen to this next 2-minute video, and then we'll get over to Ken for his demo. Awesome. And notice we used a different voice on that video, and that voice, I hear him on commercials, like national commercials, that guy. So we just gave him a script and he just read it off. That was awesome. So not that your voice is bad, Phil, but
we call him the voice of Cyber.
The voice of Cyber, yeah. So again, that's what we're seeing, a big uptick in this solution with the printing on the front and back. So please reach out to us. We can tell you more about it. Next slide, and then I think we jump over to Ken. This is kind of a preview of what Ken's going to show us, where you can, using Form Weaver, that's a feature or function within MarkMagic where you can combine multiple formats at print time. So, and the big advantage here is that instead of, go ahead, you can click, Phil, instead of, these are all separate labels or formats within MarkMagic. Of course, you could design this whole big format as one big format, like we did with like that Walmart one with a little video earlier. But you may have totally different shipping labels, right? Shipping labels are already using, right, for UPS and for FedEx and all that. You may have 20 different labels. And then if that's the case, you'd have to design 20 different or maybe even more of these large forms. So using Form Weaver, you actually just have your individual formats out there, and at print time, and Ken will show you this, you just pick the ones you want to use and you can rotate them and put them on the format however you like. So you don't have to maintain like some huge combination of huge forms. You just maintain your individual labels, and then at print time we combine the ones you want. So I think we'll pass it over to Ken at this point, and we will go over, obviously. I mean, I apologize, but we're going to go probably like 5-6 minutes over, so please stay with us.
Hi everyone. Okay, great. I'm going to sign on to my JMagic tool here. It's just installed on my Windows PC. I'm going to connect up to my MarkMagic installation on my server here. I'm going to start into a user library where I keep a lot of interesting things. and just show you that here's the completed product. So it's a PDF file that we created right out of MarkMagic. This is a combination of, there's 2 pages on this. You can see it's swapping to a totally different shipping label at the bottom and different pack list information at the top. So this is a return label in the middle, shipping label at the bottom, pack list at the top. So that's 3 formats on this page. And you'd think, oh, 3 more formats for the next? No, it's just 1 more format. So I've built this 2-page document with just 4 formats. We reused the pack slip and the return label twice, and then we just swapped in a different shipping label at the bottom on the next order, since that was a UPS one. So, so I'll show you in JMagic, it's just a few formats. If we go to open, format open, these are designed under my Zebra driver. We use the Zebra one because you're probably going to want to reuse all the labels that you've already been printing this whole time. You can take your existing, for example, UPS label that you've been printing on Zebra printers this whole time. You can take this and put it on that FormWeaver document, or you can take the USPS label that you've been printing for these years and put it there, rotated at the bottom of the document. No need to create a whole new label just for this FormWeaver document. And then just to show you, we've got under our Zebra driver the return label as well. Just separate formats, each individually designed, and then the pack list to complete, showing all the different forms. So this pack list is the base format. So you create the full size page with all the blank area at the bottom, and at the very top is your pack list data. So the FormWeaver add-on option we will use will tell it to take this pack list, and then we'll be able to piece together each individual format in this blank area down here. And the FormWeaver command, if I move over to my green screen command line here.
And while you're doing that, I'll answer Kim's question, is what platforms does MarkMagic run on? And so as Ken is showing here, it's certainly on the AS400, IBMI, which I see a bunch of the folks here are using, and also MarkMagic PI for platform independent is the other MarkMagic solution, which runs on everything, Windows, Linux, AIX, and all that good stuff. So we got all the platforms covered. Right now, we're just showing the AS400 though.
Sorry, just AS400 for this one, sure. So I'm just showing it's a command that you could run. It's run MF job. Everyone who uses MarkMagic on the AS400 is probably very familiar with the PRT LBLF command, print label file. Well, it's just a different way to print. And you're basically telling MarkMagic, here's a list of formats that I want to use on a collate document, and here's the base one. There's no rotation, there's no offsetting up or down because that's the base. And I can just say the return label, move it up 4 inches, move it over 1.75 inches. When the UPS label is encountered in the data, move it up just a slightly, move it over slightly, just to get it away from the margin, and then rotate the label 90. So we handle rotating it, moving it, placing it perfectly on your special stock if you have that special stock with the sticker. And then finally with the USPS label, same offset and rotation amount. So when you run this command now, this run multi-format job command, you can say 3 formats per page. And then when we encounter these formats in the data, we'll know how to rotate them and place them on that page. So I can run that, off it goes. And you can print directly to your laser printer, and that right there saves you paper by printing all 3 of those on one stock. Or you can even output to the PDF, which this just did. And I've opened up the PDF here, and you don't even use any stock. So you can send these off to somebody and they could print them somewhere, or you can email them to customers. So a great example of FormWeaver there, saving you tons of headaches, tons of paper as well. So thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Cam.
You're welcome.
Appreciate that. So Phil, can we squeeze in like 1 or 2 questions, or you're gonna cut us off? I know you're.
Am I really that big of a stickler?
Yeah, you are a stickler. Yeah. Well, I feel like I'm wasting a lot of time asking about the questions. So I'll answer one from Gary. He was asking about the Sato duplex printing. So that special thermal printer prints on the front and back. And it was a very good question. He's like, is that special like stock? And the answer is yes. The label stock is special. So Cybra, I mean, we've partnered with Sato and also the label, the consumable provider. So we can give you that whole full one solution, from one account, and it is specialized. And it's really cool how you tear it off and you can see on the back side of it. So I'll leave it there, Phil, if you want to wrap
Sure.
things
All
up.
right. Well, I guess we'll close out. Like I said, we'll send this as a recording out to you guys. Well, some helpful links, and thank you so much for joining us on today's webinar, and hope you have a great day.
Right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.